our underwater film where the spot that I was fishing was a little bit more dirty. I'm giving away all of the good stuff.
I think it went to Titans, and then it went from Titans to... Yeah, it did, actually. It went from Titans to Evos. Like, every person on the lake had an Evo.
Just there is another belter recast, and it goes back to colours, doesn't it? I reeled in, and I had a yellow one on, I put a pink one on, recast, and I got a bite. And that had absolutely nothing to do with the colour. It had to do with repositioning the hookbait, in my book.
Guys, a big warm welcome back to the All-Ways Carp Fishing Podcast. Lewis is currently bouncing around Europe with Samir on some massive adventure, so no doubt we'll hear from him when he returns next time. But in the studio, I have Harry Charrington, Scott Day, and the big man, Ian Chilcott. And in this one, we are taking it back through the years of Fox products. The Ultra Brolly, the Evo, to name a few. We also have a very angry customer who is not happy with Fox at all. And stay tuned to the end, because we've got a mega competition where you can get your hands on some amazing Fox reels. Stay tuned and enjoy. Okay, let's do that.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
that was so good.
Yeah,
that was
wicked.
brilliant. Best bit of fishing I've seen in years.
Yeah.
So cool. Bless his heart.
That's been good. We've all been on the bank doing a bit as well, and seen you having one as well. A few lately, Mr. Day. Been doing all right.
Mate,
Scotty Day has mowed them
I've
down.
become a full-time in the last 3 weeks. I've gone from doing nothing to... I bet, yeah, not a huge amount still. But I've got out.
Yeah.
Been out in the Chelmer, caught chub. Been into the fens, caught chub. Well, where we went was supposed to be full of big uns, but I caught a scampy little 3.5 pounder that looked like it'd been chewed up and spat out. But it didn't matter. I still got out.
Yeah.
Did a full day for that. It was hard work, actually. Literally that day, the water level dropped 4 inches while we were there, and we'd not had any sun for ages. And that day was like 17 degrees, super bright, and I'm sitting there in my t-shirt going, great chub fishing conditions these are. Just typical. But anyway, yeah. And I think, was it after that or before that? Before that, I'd gone down the syndicate and done a couple of days.
Nice.
Day sessions.
Yeah.
And I'd 3 to 38. That was good.
That'll do.
Yeah. And then Monday night, Tuesday, yesterday's feature, and I had one yesterday afternoon.
How have you been catching them?
Yesterday, singles.
Singles.
Yeah.
That was you were filming, weren't you?
It was a film about spring singles.
Right, okay.
And the spring single worked.
Nice.
The sun came out, a few fish drifted into our corner, seen a bit of fizzing, went round, stood on a tree stump. Couldn't actually really see anything.
Yeah.
Went back, and then, as the day progressed, I say the day, a couple of hours progressed, the water got a little bit more cloudier, and swung 2 single. I got a liner on one of my rods, and I'm pretty sure that was, because it was fishing to the far bank, it's proper, it must have been as they came through.
Right.
One of them's picked the line up and gone in there. Swung 2 singles down to the right, and an hour and a half later, it was away.
Nice. Was it a proper Scotty Day special single, or
One of the little purpley ones.
Purple?
The pinky purpley marbly ones.
He's sneaky. He uses these purple ones. They used them for ages and not really shown them. Or they're just my purple ones.
Yeah.
Not purple.
They're like little washed out pink with like purple marble.
They're sort of like a lilac, aren't they?
Yeah, they look lovely.
Bit different. Ismail, I remember selling when we had the Frank Warwick range in. He had blue ones. Remember them? They sold a lot. I never knew if anyone did any well on blue. It's a very odd colour, isn't it? Blue. But,
I remember doing really well on green.
Oh right,
years and years ago.
Yes. Mainline used to do the Indian spice. Was it in green?
Yeah, I used to roll my own little tiny green, like 10 millis.
Right.
And I'd use them in solid bags, and they were mint.
Nice. What green? Minty green.
Yeah, no, they were little tooties, proper Richworth double strength tootie.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've got loads. Kieran was filming yesterday, so give us a selection of your pop-ups. I was just like throwing them out. And he's like, Jesus, how many you've got? So I've gone smaller pot so I can fit more variety in my bag now, and I've got pretty much something for everything. But I've got different buoyancy. Wafters, whatever you want to call them. Pop-ups that have got different buoyancy for using different rigs. And if I take one of them out, I know full well, as soon as I go fishing, I'm going to go, shit, I needed that one. So literally a quarter of my barra bag has got a divider in the end of it. It's just full of hookbaits.
The master of hookbaits.
But then I end up going through loads of them, and like yesterday, it was like, you know, pink, it's yellow, it's pink, but these ones just never let me down.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's because you always put the one you're confident in the most confident spot.
I'm sure having them more, that's having more time.
There has
out
to
there,
be
isn't
an
it?
element to it.
Yeah.
But I find it fascinating because, you know, I am totally the other end of the scale. And I don't say that to sort of say that you shouldn't be like you. Laney, I used to fish with him so much, around loads and loads of places. And he used to drive Kev Knight mental at mainline, getting baits that were 35% buoyant. 40% buoyant, 50, and he would mark them all up in his bait bucket, and it would all be for that very reason, where you worked on the buoyancy for certain rigs. All I did was cut the putty down that was on. That sort of varies what the buoyancy is, and you know I couldn't see any reason for it to do different. But it's a fascination for me. Not something I want to do, but it fascinates me that people. I mean, the conversations I've had with Harry about colours and things that drive people insane. But it's you know I just love that because it just shows how much there is that can get your confidence levels up to do the things that you need to do.
It's great what we've got. I should show you this later after today.
That was going to be cruel to Chilcott Day.
We've got our underwater that we filmed last April. We've got that coming out. It'll be this April that it will come out, and I'm just watching through some of the edits, helping out with writing the voiceovers and stuff. And there's a period where I've got a pink one and a yellow one right next to each other, and if you watch that footage and then still say that colour doesn't matter, you are an idiot.
Okay,
Mate, I'll
have to be an idiot for the rest of my life, I think.
I'll show you it later, Chili, and tell me I'm wrong.
On the pink, was it pink?
Pink,
Yeah,
Mate,
yeah.
I'll second that. I mean,
Time after time after time.
I went out. When was it? Last week? Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week.
Can I get the decorators in?
What's going on, Dylan?
Handyman Dill.
Fan out of it.
I thought you'd just gone to the toilet or something. Our cameraman's just left.
Destroyed
the set.
Someone stole the fan.
You'll have him on
God.
that camera because he'll be over me, so we can get him in.
Honestly,
Get you in
Dale.
this week, Dill.
We'll keep it in. We'll keep it real.
Anyway, that's good. And you've been catching as well, Deano.
And this goes back to this colour thing. And I didn't do what Scott did. I give him a bit of bait. I turned up at the lake. We've got like a logbook of who's been. So
where's this?
It's a quiet syndicate in Shropshire.
Oh, okay, one of them. Yeah.
So a place that Chile has been many years ago. Hopes to get back to one day. I got there, looked at, no one's fished there for nearly 3 weeks. So I was like, right, okay, see no bait. I looked about an hour looking around, no bubbles, no signs, nothing. I was like, right, okay. I thought, do you know what? It feels good. It was warm. I thought, and I looked down, it's gone really gin clear, and sort of in the 5 foot margins already, you can see the pads pushing through the silt already, and he's like flipping out. I was just thinking, right, everything's just woke up. So I thought, the owner turned up, and he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to go and give him some bait. I said, I'm going to go out in the boat, put the marker out, not much. I just wanted to put a bit of a spread on sort of a one-man sort of size ground sheet, that sort of size. And I've put 2 hook baits, literally, mate, from me to you away, like 4 foot apart. One on pink, one on yellow. Back into and I probably put about maximum, probably about 1 kilo of bait, mulched up, bit of hemp, corn, but max of 1 kilo, and it's nicely spread out. So later that night, I think, rods went out about 4 p.m. I had the first bite at about midnight, which was a 17 mirror on the pink. So I brought that in, photos, put it back, and I thought, would they have cleaned that out? So I thought, I'm just going to top it up, just 2 spoms over the area again. So I sort of did that at sort of 1 a.m, rod back out, and literally just before first light, same rod went again. Bearing in mind, the other rod is 4 foot apart, and I know they went out perfectly. And
what is going on, Dylan? Honestly,
Dylan's wrecking the set.
Wrecking the joint.
this is not your day today, is it?
Poor Dean.
To be fair, that might not have picked up on the mics.
Yeah, possibly. That's right, mate. But yeah, no, I say first light in the morning, same rod went again, and a lovely 33 common. So,
Nice.
yeah, absolutely chuffed with him.
As,
really happy.
On the pink.
As
On the
Lewis
pink
said
again,
a word
mate. Yeah,
ago,
man.
I'm just wondering, whilst Lewis is not here and Dean's getting a bit of time off from Lewis's relentless banter, he's asking you to sabotage him. Yeah?
He's there on his watch. Now, Dylan, now.
Like Ant and Deck where they're doing that behind the scenes.
Yeah. No, drop the fan.
Wait till he's about to drop the real punchline or something that makes him look a hero. Oh dear.
Is that the fire alarm? Oh, everybody out.
Yeah. Oh well, that's good. That's good skills, Dean, because that's like quite sort of converse to what Scott's been doing.
Yeah.
But
Was that in open water area?
To be fair, it was on where the pad line will arrive. So I knew from looking in the margins of the pads poking through, there's so many pads on the left hand side of the sort of lake.
Okay.
I put them within. It was in. If you'd imagine the pad line would be in sort of say 6 foot of water.
Yeah.
I was fishing in sort of 8 to 9, just off it.
Okay. So you're not exactly fishing feature and trap fishing.
No.
You're fishing more of an open water spot and trying to get fish in to feed. I think
Yeah.
that's where the difference is when you're doing that kind of thing. But you sort of put a bit of bait in, only a kilo though, of mulched up stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot.
No.
yeah.
So
But it's more sort of attracting them in rather than fishing
Little
where
bits
they
to
are.
keep them there longer. Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
It's interesting
Good
how you
skills.
say rods close together, and I don't know. We all learn through different things, I suppose. You know, we're not all the same people, thank goodness. And I always remember fishing the Pads Lake when they RMC started to redo it and put a few fish in. We were invited, a couple of lads on there to go and fish it and test it out. And I did a couple of features for Total Carp there and things. And it was interesting in a lot of respects, but that we found a hole in the main set of pads, or why it's called the Pads Lake, and the one on the left had a little hole in it of about, it was a foot deeper than the rest of it. And I put 2 baits in there and over the top, yellow actually, and they kept on, the right hand rod was the one that would go all the time. And Simon Scott, and they came down from the spar shop to do some work. And I was explaining it to him. He said, he said, "I'm going to have a look at it." They had all their diving kit on and all that. And he said, "One side of your baited area is absolutely clean, and that side, where your other up baited, they never got picked up. They haven't eaten a thing. And you're talking probably about the size of that table. That's the size of this little hole, and that side there had not been touched, nothing on it, and all that had been clear." He said it was almost a line drawn with a pencil where the bait hadn't been eaten, and I think that can happen a lot.
I definitely think that happens a lot, and that's the kind of, when you hear people talk about a spot within a spot, like I think that does happen.
It's a true entity.
On Moz's underwater film that we did last year that came out just before Christmas. Early on, he's seeing that the fish are just feeding in like a sort of corner of the corner of the screen, which is obviously a part of the spot, and they just kept on coming down in that one area. So it was like, well, I need to. That's where I need to put the rigs. And I think that happens all the time.
Yeah,
But
it
is
does.
interesting if you've got the opportunities, particularly like with margin fishing and stuff. If you can observe that,
Yeah, the
then
little
it'll-
army lake up the road from me, it taught me so much in the years gone by. We're talking the late 80s now, and all the time the margin fishing. You could spread a little bit of bait along the margin, but you'd only see fizzing in one particular sort of. I don't know, the biggest you'd ever see is about a square metre, and that's all they wanted to eat. It seems as if they probably did over time get rid of the rest of it, I suppose, but in the limited time I had for fishing, that was you had to be there and get it in amongst those bubbles, or you were never going to get a bite.
That's where a recast can work. If you think that it ain't, you might have just fallen into that.
Do you know what?
Dirty spot rather than the.
What do you think that is then? Do you think it's something in the lake bed itself that's something there in that
It
sediment or whatever.
But what Scott said just there is another belter recast, and it goes back to colours, doesn't it? I reeled in, and I had a yellow one on, I put a pink one on, recast, and I got a bite. And that had absolutely nothing to do with the colour. It had to do with repositioning hookbait. In my book, I'm not saying anything.
That's one of those ones where you've changed two things, and is it because of or in spite of?
Yeah.
You're like, you know, you
But
can't.
every carp you ever catch it is because of or in spite of.
That's
Every carp you ever catch.
of course, of course.
But it's, you know, I just that change of, you know, the thing is, you've cast on a spot, you probably just spooked a couple of fish, they moved off a little bit, maybe had a little swim around, you know, and they come back and start. They have to start all over again, you know, and you know.
There's another really good example actually of exactly that on our underwater film, where the spot that I was fishing was a little bit more dirty. I'm giving away all of the good stuff. It was a little bit dirty, the spot that we were fishing, and the fish were feeding quite hard, and they kicked up a load of sort of old leaves and maybe old reed stems and stuff, and it collected in a pile over my hookbait. I had a lovely bright pink hookbait, and then it just got covered.
Amazing.
And wound it in, chucked it back out. And so for a period of time that it was getting ignored, wound it back in, chucked it back out, and then all of a sudden they were coming to it again.
Do you know what? I think it's the other thing. You know, we fish still waters, and still waters are anything but still water. You know, there's tidal flow.
Especially when you've got fish feeding.
The first example I ever found of it was when I went on the car park lake at Yateley, and there was a spot off of Trumpton's with one of the main sort of lakes on one of the points there, out in the middle of the lake. And if you went out there in a boat and dragged around, you'd find crisp bags, you would find all sorts of rubbish.
Weren't beefooler hoops, were they? Weren't beefooler hoops, were they?
They were sometimes. You know, lost those. I was like, no, that's nothing to do with me. But it was all in the middle, and it was you go out there. Well, there's not Tony, a big guy. He used to go out in the boat. He was a bailiff, and they used to scrape it all up and get loads of rubbish off of it. But it was a brilliant point to get a fish. And I think if you didn't get fish quickly, if the same sort of thing happened, you get covered up by someone's old tissues or something. You know what I mean? And rather worrying, but. I just think that's a fascinating subject all on its own. Yeah, the movement of water on the bottom and the way the carp react to it. I've seen them swimming against the tide in still waters when you're up trees and stuff, and it's remarkable what you see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tails moving and fins moving, but they're staying still because they've just got the, you know, between two islands, you'll get a faster water will go through there than it will in the open water on the other side. And I think that has such a bearing on it. What bearing it has, I really haven't got a clue. I can't tell you how you would use it to get a bite.
It's different in every single situation.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing, isn't it? Again, it's everywhere is different. Love it.
I had a wicked time at the Big One show.
It was awesome, mate,
wasn't it?
Such a good show.
I couldn't believe it, mate. It frightened the life out of me. Just everything was brilliant. I mean, are you allowed to say? You know, I mean, I don't think I'm a very good salesman. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So I like talking to people. And there was a bloke there, and I thought it was his wife, and they were looking for 2-man bivvies, and it was one man. His wife was at work. She was there, and her husband was at work, and they were looking for bivvies to go to France.
That's what
I took
told
them over
anyway.
That was their excuse. But I took them over, showed them the frontier, and the 2-man job, and they went, that'll do. Went right directly to the stand at the shop and bought 2.
Yeah, the
I was
XL
like, wow.
ones. Yeah,
So it's like that Coldplay concert situation. Matey boy and his
up on the big screen.
Well, I believe that.
Hopefully they're not watching this.
If I'd have started
podcast.
taking the piss, then they wouldn't have bought them, Scott. So let's.
But I have no idea how the rest of the stand was, because I was literally rooted
stuck in that corner
to the corner that had our new heli clips and the soon to be released SPOM lights.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. It was just like so much interest, and every time I showed it to someone, they were just like, oh,
I'm glad you're in there because I was in there at Den Bosch and I didn't move out of that corner.
No,
Yeah.
I remember looking over and literally from 8:30 till 5 o'clock, you didn't move from just
Yeah, it
people
looked absolute madness in there. But by the same token, most of the questions I got were about the helicopter setup.
Oh, were they?
And how good everybody felt about it. How come like that now they've got an option to do things with a helicopter rig, and it's opened an massive amount of doors, myself included. I just think it's I can now fish. I like helicopter rigs above all others, really, just because it's the way. There's confidence, isn't it? And it will make a massive difference.
I think there was another moment. Like I said, I really didn't see much of our stand or the show at all because I hardly moved. But there was one moment that actually Dylan came up to me. He was on the
lever locks.
On the lever locks, and he came up to me. I was like, "Oh my god, these are unreal." And it's one of those where we've posted those on social media, obviously, and you get a sort of 50-50 mix of people going, "Oh, why'd you need that? It's a waste of time. If you can't set up a net, you shouldn't be fishing, blah blah." And it's like, oh, okay, all right, mate. But then I think every person to a man, woman, or child who saw that in action was like,
it's the first time I got to see
wow.
it. I was blown away when I saw it.
Why wouldn't you embrace something that just makes things easier? Yes, it might not be too.
You don't have to use it if you can. If you can set a...
So if people manage with normal ones, fine, no problem. No one's forcing anyone to do that. But actually, if something makes something a little bit easier, and there's no negative to it, then why not just embrace it and do it?
Yeah, if it makes something quicker, easier. Like how much? There's nothing worse than having a kettle that boils water really slowly. Yeah. If you buy a kettle that boils water really quickly, it's like, oh my god, this is so. You still get the same end result in your kettle's boiled, but one that does it quickly is like, oh, this is the best. I've got a tea now.
The negativity in modern carp fishing.
On social media, but this is it. You didn't have it. You didn't have it in person.
Yeah.
No, there was so much positivity, and I think that's not. We're not just saying. I don't think that's just a Fox thing. Like I managed to speak to some of the guys from the other stands afterwards, and I think everyone was just like, "Wow, it was like it's so good," and that's why those shows are, I think, brilliant, because it seems like a really positive environment. A similar positive environment to our syndicate page.
They've spent money to come to a show to see things. They don't have to sit at home hiding their face, just being miserable and moaning about stuff. They spent money to have an experience, come and meet people, come and see stuff in the flesh. So yeah, it was positive.
Really good. Another really good person that I met. There's actually, firstly, before I get on to our lovely treats that we've got sat on the table, there was one guy, I forgive me because I can't remember his name. He came up to me really early on the Saturday. He was a syndicate member, and he had a big bag of biscuits, all sorts of different biscuits, and he was like, "Love what you're doing," blah, and gave us. So thank you to him for those.
Where were them?
They stayed very much near me.
They were underneath the counter
for the majority of the time.
And Mark
jelly babies as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, and someone brought pictures, some jelly babies and stuff like that. But also Sean the chef, who is this guy, he came over and bought some treats, and then he also said, "Oh, can I send you some, and you have some on the podcast?" Like, yeah, absolutely. You can send more of those, no problem. So he sent it with a little note to Harry, Dean, Scott, Lewis, Ian, and any guests and staff. Well, unfortunately, Lewis isn't here because he's out slaying them on Orellana at the moment. Love the podcast. Keep up the good work. I've done a box of mini bakes for you all to enjoy from Sean the chef.
Yeah, cheers,
Sean the chef, carp angler. Loves what we do.
I'm already in trouble for eating them before we start.
They look incredible. So, Chili's already had a Freddo millionaire shortbread or whatever it was. So let's have a go.
Are you going to put Sean's details?
need a bit of a close up on that as well.
Yeah. We'll put his a link to his website in the
Because I've
comments.
not eaten one of them yet, but I did on the actual day.
What am I going? I'm going to go for one of these Biscoff jobbies.
I don't know what to
You
have.
said you're not having any more.
Well, I could
that'll
have
be your
one, couldn't I?
third chili.
I could have just one more.
Chili's already had
One
a
of-
Freddo
one wafer
millionaire
thin,
shortbread and a normal millionaire shortbread.
I think one of those is for me, really.
Look, you've got a
It needs testing.
a McVitie's
desperately.
Gold Bar Blondie there.
They do look incredible, don't they? But no, it was a great show. Great feedback. And can I just say, if you are listening to the guy who walked off with one of our lever lock landing nets, you're a royal twat. If you are listening, anyway. So there you go. Yeah, someone decided to rob.
I think someone robbed a barrel organizer as well.
Really?
Which couldn't blame them for because they're a nice bit of kit.
They are a nice little kit. Yeah, hats were gone, but yeah, the lever lock landing net went. I think it was on the Sunday towards the end of the day when that went walkie. So, yeah, enjoy your new
my
net,
God, this
whoever
is
you are.
Insane.
You've taken that landing net one particularly personally, haven't you?
I
mate?
have, to be fair, yeah, because like Dill was like, I'm just going to pop and get me lunch, watch the nets. I was like, yeah, went over. Some guy said, have you got this bivvy and 2 mat? I was like, look, yeah, I'll get you, turn around, net gone. It's like, wow.
So there was a moment in that I didn't see it, but this was relayed to me by Sean. That so Sean McSpadden had a couple of his mates on the stand, and they were interested in the Frontier, and he's sent them into the bivvy to have a little look. And then he's gone to Dean. Inside the bivvy, we've got photography lights all set up to light them up inside. And Sean's gone to Dean. Yeah, I've just seen one of those guys go in there and put the photography light in his pocket. And Dean has bowled into there, about to have a tear up. And Sean's had to pull him back. No.
It's me, mate. I was like, fucking
Was that after the landing net had gone missing?
I think it was. I think it might
so
have
you were
been.
angst,
Yeah, so I was
weren't
up
you?
already. It was up. You know what I mean? I was heightened.
Bless you.
Dean Watson, head of
Head
security.
of security, yeah, absolutely.
These are insane. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, they look amazing. I will tuck into one in a minute.
Thanks, Sean. I'm going to have another one.
Can I hand you the one over? I'll hand the plate under your nose.
Yes, by all means. I'll have a look what we got. I'm going to have
I
Harry
can't
said
see
to have
it.
one of them.
One of those, yeah.
They look amazing.
Good man.
Thank you very much, Sean.
Yeah, Sean, you are my hero.
I will tuck into
For
one
sure.
of them in a minute.
God, they're beautiful.
Thank you all. Yeah, no, great show. Loads of buzz around the new products. Speaking of products, I want to bring it back to the old sort of nostalgia years of Fox products. Purposely, on the Syndicate this week, Harry put a post out about old Fox products. What was your favourite? And it went, it blew up, mate.
This was off of the back of we had an email from Colin Davidson. He's, for people who don't know, been around in the industry for absolute ages. He's CC Moore media manager, and he sent us an email and was just like, guys, I think a really good idea for the podcast would be to talk about like old Fox products, bring up that sort of nostalgia thing. What products what were your first Fox products? What did you use? What would you love to see again? That sort of thing.
Yeah, it was cool, mate. You put that post up and there was people posting. I've got a list here. There was LXR alarms, quadrupods, Eva. To be fair, Bartlett posted a picture of him and Kev in their teen. Did you see that? With the Eva at the back of them. There was Andreas posting from 1997 with his Ultra Brolly at the back. So it sort of brought back a lot of memories for products I used to use. So I just wanted to get your guys' slant on products that meant a lot to you from back in the day. I'm going to start with Mr. Charrington. What do you reckon, mate?
I think, well, firstly, what I'd like to say is like everybody should comment below their products, their Fox products that they've used or that they used back in the day that they absolutely loved, because I think that'll be really interesting to hear everyone's thoughts. And then Scott, talking about old products, he's got a load of 12,000 XT mags that he found in his garage, and we'll pick some winners out of that to receive some
I wouldn't say
XT
found.
mags.
Found's like I didn't know they were there,
Yeah.
and then I found them.
Yeah.
But I sorted out some kit, and on my other rods further in the rack, there was these reels, and I had a few in me in a box because when I put XC mags on the other year, or XCs the other year, yeah. So I went through it all, got them all out. There's a big bag of them, but I forgot to bring them down.
Yeah.
And loads of spare spools as well.
So I thought, sorry, Dino, I've kind of hijacked this from you. I kind of thought, rather than doing our usual Edges bundle giveaway, if people comment below what Fox products that they've got, how many reels have you got?
I think there's 7.
7.
Ooh.
So enough for two lots of prizes, a set of 4 and a set of 3.
And there's
What
loads
reels are they?
the XTs. The black XTs.
Do you remember the black XT? They were
And they're, to be fair,
they're a nice reel.
they haven't been used a lot. They're in good condition.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
haven't got any chewed handles on them or paint chipping off or anything. They're in good nick.
I was going to say,
I
do you
should've
remember
gone and
what price were they? What were they?
They were 300
300
quid reel.
Oh my day!
Yeah, yeah.
What a prize that
They're
is!
good.
What
Loads
a
of spare
prize.
spools.
So yeah, we'll pick two winners. They have to be members of the syndicate.
Yes.
Dino will do the draw on the syndicate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was be a
Yeah, that would be
good.
cool, man.
Might have to strip
I
the
will
line
say as
off.
well, to make life a lot easier, if you're not a member of the syndicate, at the bottom of your screen now, you will see a QR code. You can now zap that with your old photo. That'll take you directly to our page, making it nice and easy for you. It's absolutely free. It costs you nothing, and it takes seconds. So, yeah, make sure you are a member before you comment your Fox product.
I think there's 7. So if there's an odd one, there might be somebody out there that's got a set of 2, wants a third, or something like that. So that
Yeah.
might help somebody out as well to give them a set of
Great
free or
surprise.
whatever.
Wow.
nice. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. So obviously I'm slightly younger than you guys. So my first products would be a little bit later, but still early 2000s. I had a set of original Micron M's, not the mini Microns, the Micron M's, which were just the like on-off red LED, tiny little things they were. But I had them, and then I had the original, my first ever set of carp rods, like where I had a matching pair with the original Warriors with the cross weave
Nice.
shrink wrap.
Yes.
Which, like, I think nobody does a cross weave shrink wrap anymore, and I've said for the last few years we need to get that on a set of rods because
Harry Charrington retro specials.
Like, I am sure there are people listening to this who are like, yeah, they were mint, and like that was a shrink wrap handle 25 years ago, but nobody was using shrink wrap.
More.
It wouldn't have been more than 20.
Probably was, wasn't it, Chill?
I think it was actually. It's probably near a third.
Yeah, nobody was using it. Was like either abbreviated or full duplo.
Yes.
Wasn't it? You
Yeah.
you didn't have shrink wrap. I mean, maybe you did. I don't know. But anyway,
remember.
yeah, I caught my first £20 on them out of the river. Me and my mate had like done a little campaign
Out the river.
to
Nice.
yeah. I started carp fishing on. I caught carp before, but like they didn't really interest me then. It wasn't like, oh, I hooked a carp and then all I wanted to do was carp fish. I liked doing everything, but where I lived, I had access to a lot of rivers. We had the Thames, the Mole, the Ember. So I was in like a little hotbed of river fishing. And through whenever you're down there fishing for chub or whatever, you see these
Giants.
carp every now and again. Like there weren't ever loads, but yeah. Then me and my mate, I think we must have been 13, 14, something like that. And I think the year before we'd been allowed to do our first night accompanied by our mum. Me and my mate, we didn't share the same mum, but
Story's getting interesting now.
It was his mum for one night and my mum for another night. Anyway,
Timeshare.
so then the
frontiers.
next year we were allowed to do a night on our own, and so we decided we were going to do this little campaign for these river carp, and I think we'd done 7 nights blanking, not in a row, but like I think every week we'd gone and done a night on a Friday night or something, and then eventually, I've had a middle of the night rod sort of out in the middle of the channel. It's quite a slow moving river, has absolutely peeled off. And I remember picking up into it and shouting down the river. My mate's about 50 yards away. Simon, it's happened! It's happened! Yeah, and I've played this fishing. It was £22. Yeah, on my Warrior rods, 2.5 pound test curve, just like proper, like all through action, really nice and bendy, lovely to play fish on.
Just interesting, those sort of rods, the first in line. I mean, I think I've spoken about them before. The Euro Warriors were the rod that we made before the Warrior came out.
They were the cork handle ones.
The cork handle ones, and they didn't even appear in the rod section of the catalogue. They popped up, and I thought they were 50 quid each, or 45 quid or whatever. And I got them sent down, and with the old Stratos reels. I mean, I caught my first 50-pounder with that little setup that cost, probably just a fraction over 100 quid for a rod and a reel. But you're right, it's the action of it. Mate, you didn't have to give it a great deal of line because the rod it's like fly fishing, isn't it? And I think people forget about that kind of thing.
I think at the time that must have been so many people's first set of carp rods.
I hear
because
that a lot.
because they were Fox rods and under 50 quid.
Yeah.
Like
so
many people had them. Yeah,
brilliant.
Absolutely loved them. And then another thing that I had that was my first ever bed chair that was like, I think, third or fourth hand given, and it was a Fox Premier bed chair, so it was one of the first, the first bed chair.
Spring-loaded lever legs.
Yeah, it had the spring-loaded lever legs, had the elastic all going around the outside and just the canvas in the middle, nothing hanging over the side, so you're banging your head on the metal bars and stuff. And I had that until I did work experience at Angling Publications with Scott and Lewis, and I stayed in their living room on the bed chair, and in the middle of the night I was just fast asleep. The bar on the side of it just sheared off. I wasn't moving or anything. It just out of nowhere just totally sheared. I've like bottomed out on the bracing bar between the legs, and yeah, that was the end of that. But that, obviously, I first got that I would have got that in 2003, but it would have already been 20 years old then.
Wow, man, that's mega. Fair play. Yeah. What about yourself, Chili? What sort of reminisces with you, mate, on the products?
Me, my life revolves around a hook. Really, if that ain't working, then it don't matter whatever, a bit of bed chair, bivvy, rods or whatever. And I cannot remember for the life of me. It was called a Mark II, and I used them in a size 4 and a size 6. And I think a podcast or two ago I talked about years ago I was fishing with super specialists, the Deano super specialists, and once I found these Fox hooks, they sort of took over my life. They were absolutely what I wanted.
Is that the series 5?
No, the Series 5 was a big, long, bendy one. This was called a Mark II, and I cannot remember if I had the packaging somewhere. I probably have in the junk I've got at home, but it would have been wonderful to bring them in. But, you're talking about bed chairs, and I used to sleep on the floor as an ex-paratrooper. I didn't really think of one. It wasn't until I met Laney and all that. They had bed chairs, and the first bed chair I ever owned was that one with the stuff going around, and I changed that bed chair in 1995 for an 8-leg one, which might seem a ridiculously heavy thing, but we had a Great Dane called Max, and he wasn't that much lighter than me, and we used to both sleep on it when we were fishing, unless he found somebody who wanted to go and tear to pieces. I should have had his angy bits cut off as a little boy, but I thought I can't do that to a dog. But yeah, and that was incredible. So the bed chairs were always a big thing as well. But
that's literally what started Fox. Was bed chairs. That's what kicked it all off.
The bivvies as well. I mean, the evolution. I remember Laney, 93, and he was with Fox at the time. And he turned up with a prototype of it, and he put it up, ding, ding, no middle bit. No things in the roof, and it was wonderful. You could sit up straight on your bed chair, and I loved it. And it was the initial one they had to test, and he all night long he had bits of plastic laying it all over the top, plastic bags, everything to stop it leaking and everything. But I saw him go through the whole shooting match with them. And yeah, I used them. When they ceased making them and didn't want me to use them anymore, I kept on using them, and they were just incredible, so robust. And
everyone had them, didn't
yeah,
they?
everywhere
had
I
them.
went, they were just the places I washed with them. It was that easiness of putting them up, and if you were careful with them, you could bust a rod or two. But
I've just remembered one that I hadn't even thought of. The original adjuster level, you know, the one that Matt Hayes always used on Total Fishing. That one, I loved that chair.
That's it. I had like the fold out back bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like proper aluminium colour.
Yeah, but I thought about that because obviously we brought that adjuster level chair back out, and then it's been since discontinued. But obviously we brought the Evo back out with the Evo Compact not that long ago, 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So might even be a bit more than
maybe a bit more, maybe 8 years ago. I've still got one, and it literally packs down to that, 6 kilos. And like, it's funny because back
you
then,
shake the back legs, don't you?
back in those in the 90s and the early 2000s, everyone who was anyone had one of them.
I've got the most amazing picture. I should give it to you, really. I'll get this out and send it up to you. It's at Swim 18 at Rainbow, and it was a day with 24 hours of rain, 24 hours of horrendous wind, and not a second went by without a lightning bolt in the sky. It was unbelievable. You know, I've been around the world 100 times with my hair on fire. I'd never seen anything like it. And I managed to get myself out with my camera up my shirt. I'm actually soaking wet. And the bivvy, it was the limited, the smaller one. What do they call it? Not the compact. It was the one with no sides on it. No, it didn't have the big sides on the front. Oh, what was it called? It was an Evolution.
But
it was the lightest version. I never had a grain sheet out there when I went there. I just went with the gear I used in the UK. And the pegs are like that, all the rain, half out the ground getting pulled out. There's a bolt of lightning in it in the island. And there's this bivvy right in the middle of it. It's not a bivvy, is it? It's just a version of...
It's a shelter, isn't it? It is a shelter.
It's most ridiculous. And it stayed there, even though they told me to reel in.
That's what I was getting. They were so popular back then, and everybody who was anyone had one. But when we redid it, and Scott brought it back, and I was so keen, and I thought, these are going to be great because they are so easy to set up, so good. And it just didn't resonate, did it?
It sold really well into the shops
because the shops
shopkeepers
it.
remember how well it was.
Yeah.
But then it just didn't resonate through.
I used it. I did
consumers.
that filming with Brad on the Pads Lake 2019. I had it there, and I loved it because you had that extra. You did it. You put that extra little kick out in the legs at the back and in the arms, and it was so beautiful. Put it up in 2 seconds. Didn't weigh a blooming thing.
Well, it used to have between those back two poles was quite a big piece of fabric, and it used to drop in, and there was like a peg point on the originals that you could just pull out, and people used to stick a storm pole in and just pull it, and it would just pull that central bit out.
Right.
So when I redid it, I was playing around. This is when we were back in Hainault. I got some off. It was like Dad's shed, that place. Like literally, if you wanted anything, you would find it.
Yeah.
And I found this old Evo, and I found some tubes that were slightly bigger than the fiberglass, the alley poles that were in it. I cut the poles in half, and I got these tubes and bent them, and I made sort of like pushover joints. Yeah. Because when I looked at the Evo, I was like, how am I going to get that central bit of fabric? So I've created an elbow in it. So as soon as you put from that to the elbow, it then keeps that line of tension around it.
Okay.
So it meant that you then got, and it made a massive difference because where it would sit so shallow, and then you put these kicks in, you ended up with like nearly a foot of extra room around that little perimeter bit. Yeah, and so we did that. And then we moulded a part for it when we brought it out. But like you say, the shops were like, I remember the Evo, it was great. Bought loads of it. We sold loads. We did a reorder. We got loads more in, and then they didn't sell through.
Yeah.
But I think that's at the time where bivvies had become a lot bigger, and these were quite small, and people got in and were like, "Oh, there's not quite as much room."
Yeah,
as there should be."
people liked a heavy duty ground sheet. They liked a big comfy front on it. They liked the twin skin and all of that, and it just didn't hit through. But like it was like that. It was what
the compact,
not even 3 foot long, and 6 kilos with a lightweight ground sheet.
Wow.
So you just chuck it on your barrow or whatever. Like, doesn't take up anything.
But remember
So
the originals? They had mouldings at the bottom with little hooks on because you used to throw the winter skin over.
Yeah.
So they did have twin skin, and you had those 2 extra holes in the blocks at the front. They were wicked with a twin skin, but they just didn't give as much coverage as a modern day bivvy. But I do know that one of my mates, Andy Mull, who used to fish the Mere with and that up north, he's constantly posting pictures of him using it. He still uses it today.
There'll be someone listening to this who'll be like, I still use it and love it.
Yeah.
So Jim Lightful, Captain Jim.
Yeah.
He loves his Evo. He still gets out on the canals fishing with it. Yeah, because it's just lightweight and compact, and you can stick it to the back so you're not taking up too much space on the towpath. Yeah,
but it's all up to me. It was all about mobility.
Yeah,
and which I like my carp fishing to be that way. That's why it just suited me down to the ground. It was just absolutely brilliant. You know, if I wanted to be down the other end of the lake, you just knocked a good 2 minutes off of packing up and getting there. To get on the fish. But yeah, that was sad. When it didn't keep
they were
going.
wicked bivvies.
Yeah.
They were Manifold's design, the sort of godfather of modern day shelters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manifold made them. Was one of my mates, Martin Allerton, when I was fishing on the Mere. He had one of the first ones I'd seen that were an Aqua Products one. I think on the Mere there was 2 Aqua Products ones before Chris sold the design to Fox. Then Fox, I think basically Chris couldn't keep up with demand, and he sold the design to Fox. It worked for him because he got a few quid out of it. Fox got a wicked design, mass manufactured it, and before you knew it, everybody was around the lake used to use brollies with sides. Then it went to Titans, and then it went from Titans to it did actually. It went from Titans to Evos. Like every person on the lake had an Evo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good.
So, what about you, Mr. Dave, Mr. Product Man himself? Where's your sort of nostalgia lie?
My first Fox product probably would have been a super bed chair, which is the second one they did, I think. The first one was fabric over the ends, and then I think there's some elastic in the middle. And I had a super. I think I got a super for Christmas. It was one of my things on my Christmas list when I was getting all my carp kit together. Other than that, I'd use one of those blue Argos sun loungers.
Yeah.
And I've got...
It was Lafuma made a good one.
The blue Argos sun loungers are horrendous because those legs just used to fold in, and I did it one day and trapped my fingers in there. So then my dad made me some of these massive steel hooks at work, and I used to get, where I was fishing, get the bed chair out and whack these big hooks in.
So you could hang it up.
No, just whack them in the ground to stop the legs from folding in on themselves, because I literally trapped my fingers one day sitting on it and it collapsed. So painful. So yeah, so I went from that to a Fox super bed chair, and at a similar time I think I got a set of the original mini microns as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Mini microns and the Fox super bed chair were my first
Fox product.
Fox products, I think. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Obviously, we did a. I'm dropping this everywhere. We did a challenge. I shouldn't have started talking.
No, I'm just going to talk. That's my
Stop dropping out your mouth now.
And before I do it, I'll find the crumbliest possible one that I can find.
Right, I'll put it down. Yeah, obviously we did the challenge, the one that we did at Cuttle Mill,
I remember.
where we got a load of old Fox tackle that was off. There's like a website called like Vintage Carp Tackle or Vintage Fishing Tackle or something like that, and we managed to get quite a lot of stuff. So we had the original mini microns.
You borrowed them, didn't you, off Turtle?
Maybe the
Were they on green
there was a
LEDs?
fair bit. I can't remember.
I'm sure Turtle sent me a message about that, and he'd got some. He loves.
There was a number of stuff we got off this
Yeah.
website, and I think we did get a few bits donated. So we had that. We had a stainless steel pod that would have been from like the early 90s.
I remember that one.
We had the original Mark 1 swingers,
RDL.
which were proper. I mean, they were wicked. They were so good. They were so good. But lighter than the sort of ones that we have now.
Yeah.
And it's, mate, watching them as well, isn't it? Such a cool seeing that swinging going. Such a cool. It's wicked to see. I do love that.
Yeah. And that was wicked using all of that stuff. He had a I think he had a bed chair that collapsed on him, and it was a brolly. It was a brolly system, I think it was that he had as well. I can't.
Was it the Ultra?
Mate. It might have been
It wasn't a spokey type brolly. Was it the one that you had the alley?
Oh, I can't remember.
I'm sure it might have been. Basically, those ones
If we watch it, we'll know.
Those ones had like a rear pole with a little bend in the top of it, and you had a central boss.
I think it was.
And so you actually put it on the floor upside down, fold it out, and screw this thing in the middle.
That is exactly what it was.
Exactly,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
an Ultra.
Yeah.
And then literally the thing you screwed in created the tension that created it into a shape.
Yeah.
I've got some price lists upstairs with like some proper old school Ultras, and then when they moved it onto the one that had a tiny little porch on it,
Yeah.
my mate Steve Allen used one of them on the mirror, and when everyone else moved to Evos, he still defiantly used his Ultra for years.
I know.
and years and years.
I know a lot of people on the syndicate. The post that I did, they were talking about the Evo luggage and
the
how many
evolution.
people love that. And I know Colin, when he sent us the email, he had unearthed his old Evo framed carryall.
Yes.
So like a proper
Oh, yeah, I
framed
remember
carryall,
that.
which have now been sort of remade popular by obviously Corda have brought one out. And you think it's like one of those where it's like
Was it
25 years
was
ago.
it a rook box? Did we call it a rook box, or was that a later interpretation of it?
It might have been. I can't remember what it.
You
I can't.
you say you had that, didn't you, on that video? Because I remember somebody saying, I remember comments from that Cuttle thing about the rook box.
Did I have that?
Somebody did.
No, I didn't. No, we didn't have that.
I'm sure something-
No, I'm sure we didn't have
conversations arose
that.
about that
But like
product.
even to the point, and even to the point where it's got inside it like a little tray. For you to put all your rigs and
That's
stuff on.
it,
It was like
yeah.
25 years ago they're doing this framed thing with feet so that it can sit up off of the mud and stuff like that. And I'm not sure whether it was totally our design or somebody else had done it before, but I know obviously we were doing that 25 years ago. And things like that you just kind of get forgotten about almost. And you
Yeah,
think,
they were
"Oh, God,
popular.
that
They
was
were really
that
popular."
was a proper good idea.
No, it was. I
We
remember.
spoke about rods, and we were talking about Evolution shelters and that. They were the Evolution rods.
Yeah,
Marine
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
I've got those at home as well. I mean, they were some lovely rods.
Yeah.
They really were. You know, for any rod we made at that time, I don't know about. I was fishing smaller waters. I didn't fish big waters back then, really, to cast miles. But for playing fish in the edge, they were the most superb thing. Little 30mm butt rings and all the rest of
Yeah.
it. But they were wonderful.
My first spod rod was a Fox one. It was that like brown one.
XL.
Yeah. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Proper. Well, it
old
seemed
school.
like a proper meaty old thing, but now I think it would probably be like a 3.5 pound. It said 5.5 pound test curve, but I bet it would be a 3.5 pound test curve.
Oh, good times. I had my first Fox product was I think, I get this right, is it the LXR transmitter system? So you had to use a receiver, you had to have the same size as a receiver now, bolted to your buzz bar.
Yeah.
All the wires going around the buzz bars going into
With
all
a
the
little aerial
alarms.
poking up
Yeah,
off it,
this
yeah.
it's just a monstrosity thing on the front of your buzz bars, just so you can have a receiver. I mean, mate had the wires that you had to run across the floor.
Yep.
Yeah.
He had them, and I had this LXR system. I thought I was really posh because I had a wireless version. And then another thing that I absolutely loved, and it just shows sort of tapping into the lever lock system, was the old Burgundy quick release.
Oh, with the little thumb.
The thumb,
the little bit
yeah,
in the
the
middle.
landing there. What was that called?
Quick lock.
Quick lock, yeah.
Might have
The
been.
quick lock
Well,
landing
no,
net.
that's
That's
solar,
it. Burgundy sort of.
That spring. bow.
Yeah,
Spring lock,
solar
isn't it?
one's bow lock, isn't it?
Bow lock.
Bow lock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been.
Those
I
were my
remember
two.
that, yeah.
Two that I had. I've actually still got an item of Evolution luggage that I use once a year when I go to France, and it's still the best cool bag I've ever bought.
The zip still work.
Zip still work, yeah. Somehow it still works. Still got the. It just
Get a little bit of wax on them, sort them
nice.
out.
I can fit about 40 kilo of bait in it. fantastic. So yeah, no, awesome products. They were really, really good. Enjoyed going down. Just like I say, there's so many in it. You sort of forget until you start seeing people posting on the group about the products. Oh my God, yes. And I remember when you said about your XL spod rod, I think there's a guy called Kirk in the syndicate, and he's still using it like a few months back at Merrington when we did the social there. He's like, look at this. I'm like, flipping. I'm fair play, it's still smacking a spom out 100 yards, and it's like, good times.
I had one of them Evolution barra bags, the big ones. They were massive. Literally, you could like put a body in one of them. Don't want to sound dark, but
yeah, they were big.
You could do.
They were
well, Fox was ran by some proper Essex wide boys back then. So, I'm not saying anything.
No, that was good. It was good. Like I say, we could chat forever about products and what we want on that. I just want to touch on what's going on in the angling world and the trade. I'll start off by a new member of our team, H, joining us.
Yeah,
Mr. Lennon.
Yeah, Henry Lennon. Really, really excited to have him on board. Everyone will know him, obviously, his time at Nash, his sort of globe-trotting exploits, his viral video of him in a dressing gown.
I remember that.
And we had him in for we had him in for a chat. All of these things happen. Like you talk to everyone that you're sort of trying to get on board, and like he's such a down to earth, genuine guy who just really wants to live his dream and wants to do what he can to make that happen. And we just got we you think, oh, this is going to be like an hour or so. We chatted to him for a good like 2.5 hours, just felt totally at ease with him, as if we'd known him for forever. And so really, really pleased that we've got him on board. He makes great content on his own channel. We're going to have him on our channel. Like if there's any films that you'd like to see Henry make, let us know.
And he fishes everywhere, mate, doesn't he? He will go
anywhere. So I know, well, this year he's just, I think today will be starting, I think, 6 or 8 weeks in France, not like dotting around different venues, making loads and loads of content. Some will be on our channel, some will be on his channel. Then he comes back, he goes out somewhere else, and then he's going to America for 6 weeks as well later on in the year, which is going to, like, that'll be amazing. There's so much fishing in America. It's unreal.
I think I saw a post this week he put up on the syndicate, I think, and he said, I think this year alone he's only spending 3 months in the UK. The rest of it will be out, adventures abroad. And
he is living every carp angler's dream, and like fair play to him for making it happen. It's not that taking that sort of decision to which he did a year ago, to like leave full-time comfortable employment and go it alone and hope that it works out on YouTube, because ultimately if it doesn't work out on YouTube, you can't, in this day and age, you can't make a living out of it. You need to be like, people need to tune into you and watch you, if you're going to like solely do it like by yourself, making it happen. And that's what he's done. So fair play to him. If you're not a subscriber to his channel, subscribe to his channel, because he's making some really, really cool content. And he's just like a really like chilled out guy. He's not like, I don't know, super like crazy high energy here, there and everywhere. Very easy to watch, and really tall.
Very tall.
Very tall.
I say he popped on the Fox stand at the big one. I was like, that's about 8 foot, this geezer. I was like, everyone's big to me, to be fair.
Like, I only signed him up because we needed a bit of height in the team.
He does bring the average height up quite considerably.
He does. He absolutely does. Other things I want to touch on as well. I just want to give a big sort of pat on the back, a kudos, a sort of a well done to the things going on at RH Fisheries at the moment, and Rob with his Patchell Park adventure. I watched the latest film that he put out of the stocking of the Welsh mirrors. I can't pronounce the name of that fishery. That's it. So some of those amazing...
Sorry to everyone who I've just offended.
Was that actually right?
That's not bad, that. We'll go with that.
That was definitely the start of it was that, and the end of it might have fizzled out.
But no, I watched... If you got time, go and watch it. It's a phenomenal only 20 minutes. But
so see, I hadn't had a chance to watch it. I know you sent it to everyone to do their homework, and I don't think any of us have.
No.
So he's obviously that lake that Bart fished.
Yes.
And well, I've actually been there and filmed with pictures before in Wales. He decided he needed some money to build his house. Is that right? That's right. He decided he needed some money to help finish building his house, and so he needed to sell the stock of his lake to fund that. And his lake, he has these unreal fishing, and are these are the fish that have gone.
Yeah, not all of them. Obviously, Rob's cherry picked the ones he wanted, but they've gone into. I'm not sure if it's the Church or the Great Lake, but in that video you see these fish being put into Rob's lake, and off they go in their new home, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's just. Oh, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the amount of work gone into it, the drain down, the desilting of the Great Lake, the swim building, the boat houses, the plans they've got. It's phenomenal. It really sort of took me away. I'm thinking, you are pouring everything you've got into this to make this the dream, do you know what I mean, of this unbelievable complex it's going to be.
It's showing what can be done.
Yeah.
With hard work, effort, and money. Let's not forget that.
Oh, absolutely.
And he is filling a massive gap for people who. That Patchell Park is an unbelievable place. So just to actually go there and sit there and fish in those sorts of surroundings, I think would be a lovely experience for anyone.
And if he hadn't done this, what would have happened to it?
Well, I think it would have been. I think it was
just
up for sale.
Up for sale.
Yeah, but who knows what he wouldn't have been able to. Yes, Patchell Park under RH Fisheries will be different to the historical Patchell Park, but it'll still exist.
It will.
Whereas
but
if he didn't take it on, it might not have existed. Who knows what might have happened?
Yeah. I think I'm sure there could have been all sorts of other things. So the fact that it's available for people to go fishing in, and they can pay their money, roll the dice, and potentially catch a really, really big fish. I think that's amazing. I think there's obviously a pool of people who think that these sort of instant big uns are detracting from maybe those sort of more historical fish that have maybe grown on in the venues and stuff. I don't actually think that they are, because I've seen on social media recently when that waterside big un, which I think a lot of people hold in relatively high regard nowadays, that got caught at £68. The outpouring from carp angling saying, "Oh, well done for that." If somebody catches a £68 that's been recently stocked, or is not in these types of or is in these types of venues that are, should we say, instant big fish waters, they don't get the same kudos, and they don't. So
no.
I don't think that they do. You take it for what it is, and that a February capture of that waterside big un that I think has only ever done one other winter capture, or maybe a handful of winter captures. There's a massive outpouring of love for it.
Yeah.
So, and the same with that with Lockie's big un that he caught in December. These are the I don't want to say proper, because it's not. It's
well, I know what you mean.
Yeah. These are the ones that the big carp.
There's a bit more history. There's a bit more
sort of
people
hold in higher regard.
Hold them in higher regard.
But there's the opportunity for people who have only got one weekend a year to go and pay the money and take the chance at hooking and landing a ridiculous big one.
A fish of a lifetime, which are bloody nice looking fish as well. You know, those big commons that they're stocking now. They're beautiful looking fish. There's no
Obviously,
yeah,
that 71 that went in. We haven't seen pictures of the 77 that went in. They didn't go into Pat's, although they went into the Avenue.
They went. Speaking of fish, we're moving on now to Fish of the Month over on the Syndicate. Some great entries this month as well, weren't there? Some nice big ones out through February. But the man that took top spot, which we pretty much all agreed
Unanimous.
on, was Russell Hatt with a beautiful scaly 40 pounder, which is on your screens now. If you're listening to this on Spotify or whatever, I can just describe it as a perfect scaly mirror at 40 pound. It's stunning, wasn't it, to be fair?
Lovely shape,
From
nice colour.
From Comely.
Yeah, creamy.
Yeah.
It was,
I'm going there with pictures for a bit of filming in 3 weeks' time.
Very nice.
Very much looking forward to that.
Yeah.
It's got we're going on the main lake. It's got a possible 60 pounder in.
Bloody hell.
Grown on, wasn't
It's a lovely place. I went over there filming. I liked the place.
Oh yeah, you did a film there, didn't you, Chill? Yeah.
It's almost difficult to get over there all the
Oh,
time.
you caught one right at the death, didn't you? A proper
It's so
lovely
difficult.
scaly one.
I mean, I can tell you why, but then you'll say I'm moaning about something, so I'm not.
Yeah, well, no, I know.
Bait boats, wasn't it? You know,
Bait boats and maggots, and you
my
weren't
rod
using
was nearly
either.
wider, longer than the width of the lake, and people were using bait boats on it all the time, and all that ever went in there was maggots.
Yeah,
And
that's all stopped now. The maggots and everything are banned.
I know he had. I had a good chat with him. Lovely guy, and he invited me back anytime I want to go, which was great. And I eventually got to do what I wanted to do, which was get myself dirty, find some fish, and I found them, and I got a bite as the gear was going in the car, really. But yeah, it was a nice place, but I just. That bottom lake, that big lake you're talking about, I think that becomes so difficult because of the boats. They're just every area is so known that everybody goes in with their remote control boat, puts it on that spot.
But do you genuinely think that it is known? Because when you're booking on a venue like that, and it is you have to book on it, it's not like it's not like a day ticket, and it's not like a syndicate in that it's got a sort of regular turnover of the same anglers who then learn the spots and then tell everyone, oh, it's this rat, because you've got a new group of people turning up who don't speak to the old group of people because they turn up after them.
There's a lot of info on the interweb for it. I mean, Bert from Hampshire Tackle, just round the corner from me, they went over there for a week, and on the last day he caught the biggest common in the lake of 49 pound, but which was wonderful. Now. But it was he said it was incredibly difficult fishing. I think there were other fich caught in that.
I think that's also small. That's also pressured small water syndrome, isn't it? It's 2 acre lake where you've got people on it every day of the week. Like they know they're being fished for.
I think it's where the swims are as well. It just lends itself to fishing that far bank all the time. So, you know, as you can use a remote control boat, you're going to do it, and you're going to wedge your bait in where nobody can cast and catch your fish from there. But I just think it's like everywhere. You know, we were talking about islands earlier on, weren't we? And it is they're a magnet for everybody. And you know, there's about like a few meters of square of water that's actually being fished around an island, and there's thousands, acres of water that never gets fished because it isn't the popular thing to do, and carp just don't live around islands, do they? But anyway, that's my
they don't live there. Yeah,
they visit.
You visit occasionally.
Yeah, they rock up and have a nose.
Pick up the odd pink pop up.
How good was that spell in February?
Oh, amazing, mate.
Literally, there was a couple of weeks, 10 days, where
it switched.
Fish got caught everywhere.
Yeah.
Big ones, loads
small
of ones,
some as big as your head.
So, loads of like waters that are hard, that don't produce a lot, suddenly produce. There was that window of opportunity that if you ain't there fishing, you'll have missed, because by the time you found out about it, it were done. But he was like, there's got to be an advocate for, keep plugging away, and at some point it'll happen.
It kicks,
you'll get amongst them. I just couldn't get over how many fish were getting caught.
Loads of people around
in
here
that
were
period of
catching
time.
loads of fish.
Yeah.
There
Seeing
was a
everyone's-
guy in that list of fish for the fish of the month, and he had a 40-pounder from a lake where I first started seriously carp fishing, which is Pit 3 up at Hollybush. And he had a 40-pounder.
he had two, didn't he?
Yes.
No, it's the picture of the same fish for either side of it, I think, isn't it?
Right.
How was it?
I don't know. It looks it to me. It's that saddleback 40 in there, and that fish is like a massively pressured carp, and the lake is tiny. It used to be like a lovely place full of islands and everything. And they just levelled it completely. And,
the guy with the fox, the beanie fox hat. He had two.
Yeah, he
fish,
he caught one, and then he sent another image later of a different
I had this one as well. It was an absolute banger.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Sorry, but I think he was nearly got Martic in the box there because I know how difficult a fish that is to catch. So good on him.
Yeah, fair play to him.
And that was in that period you're talking about, Scotty. That's the thing.
Guys, we've been waffling, so I'm going to be bringing this podcast to a close. I'm going to finish on a complaint, unfortunately. But before I do that, just a reminder, just a reminder, you can win a set of what reel, Scott? The XT
12,000 XT mags.
Just comment below your favourite Fox product from yesteryear, what you're using now. Get your comments in. That will register you. Make sure you are a member of the syndicate. Once again, I will put up the QR code on screen. Grab it, screenshot it, whatever you need to do. Get over there and become a member. So, going to now get onto this complaint. Now, we're pretty good. Our customer services, normally we get
He's
people.
looking at me.
Well, it's a kind of product,
They
mate.
all come to you, don't they?
It is a product,
They
Scott.
all come to you.
We're pretty good at dealing with most things. I'd like to say we always sort out what we can as best we can. But
You're making me nervous.
we have
Dean. You
a
proper
very
sprung it on me.
agitated man here called Matthew Wyatt.
This
And
is a genuine complaint.
this is a
Right.
genuine complaint, and it's come through to
There's
our
a time
customer
and a place,
services.
Dean, and it's not now.
Well, customer services have gone, we can't help with this. Maybe Scott can. So here we go, Scott. So
Where have I heard that before?
Yeah, Matthew Wyatt would like to. Well, this is a complaint. I recently purchased a pack of multi-pack jammy wagon wheels from Tesco's. When I opened the packet, I found that one wagon wheel had come with no bottom biscuit and no marshmallow, no jam or top biscuit. Is there anything you can do for me? Now, this came through to our complaints department.
Is this?
He's just Foxes. Wagon wheels are foxes, aren't they?
I thought they were McVitie's.
He bought them from Tesco Extra, and he wants something.
Actually,
about
that
it.
is a point where
chocolate and everything, don't they?
I'll find out. What
Tell
they
me
are.
the problem again. I'll see if I can help you, Matthew.
Basically, mate, he's missing marshmallow, jam, and some bottom biscuit. He's not happy, man.
Marshmallow jam and bottom. I don't think Matthew's going to be watching this podcast.
Possibly not.
I think he should be watching the McVitie's / Foxy's Biscuits podcast.
If you are from Hazelwick Avenue in Crawley, that is where you'll find the man. If you know him,
I was
pop round his house with some
genuine-
biscuits for the poor
I
boy.
was genuinely worried, Dean. I thought you were going to spring a real true.
Yeah, sweat on the
No jam, no marshmallow.
He's not happy.
But
I'll
he's
tell you,
got
next
biscuit
podcast.
with chocolate
That's
on it.
awful, isn't it?
We'll
We
bring
need to
some-
find him. We need to
we
find
do.
this man.
We need to get him some
We need
wagon
to
wheels.
trace him.
We'll get some on the
him.
next podcast. We'll have some.
It is relevant. His first port of call was take him back to Tesco.
Yeah, it is foxes that make wagon wheels.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It is foxes that
There you
make
go.
wagon wheels.
Matthew?
So,
We need to
Take
sort
them back
him
to
out.
Tesco. They'll give you another packet, mate. And I'm sure then the store manager will personally ring up Mr. Fox's Biscuit and carry out your complaint on your behalf.
There we go.
he didn't send any photo evidence though, so he obviously
No.
ate them.
Yeah.
He didn't have one bite and then stop eating. He ate the lot and then decided to complain. It's like eating your whole meal at a restaurant and saying, "Oh, my steak wasn't cooked properly." You ate it all.
Like the fact that he's put on there, only one was found like this, but you still have the time to log in and put this complaint in over one wagon wheel. Anyway, guys, it's been a great podcast again.
Very enjoyable.
Yeah, very
Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll
My
see
pleasure.
you on the next one.
Thanks, Dean.
Cheers.
Thanks, Sean
Bye.
the chef.
Cheers,
Yeah,
guys.
Sean,
Cheers,
baby.
Sean.